Foam rolling. Foam rolling is a huge part of our kind of waking up our body, activating and getting ready to go before we do our workout. So everybody needs to get on that foam roller and kind of work out certain areas of their body. So we're just gonna go through a real quick progression. So we're just gonna work up and down the spine first of all. I like to kind of work and feel it go one vertebrae at a time. You know, from low back, mid back up to the upper back or vice versa. He's kind of working his way down, which is fine. So as he works his way up, he's kind of feeling it. If you feel a little hot spot somewhere, kind of stay on that spot a little longer. One of the key moves you want to get out of this is as he's working, he's taking the time that you need, is go ahead and roll up, and let's get to the hips, to the IT band. Now I want to think about really getting in this is a tough spot for most people, is basically to roll out from hip across the knee, right? So we want to make sure we're getting that and spending time where we need to, or changing the angle of his body just a little bit. It's completely up to you. This is one of those things where you say, you take a couple, 2-3 minutes, and you kind of go through and hit the spots that you really feel you need to hit, and you'll slowly build your own personal routine. So we want to make sure we're doing that on both sides. He can flip over, get quads, you can get calves, you can get hamstrings, whatever he wants to get done, and stay on or do a little more or less work on it, the better. You're gonna get some hot spots. We shouldn't avoid the hot spots, but be careful around them, but we wanna really work through a lot of that tightness. Yeah, let's flip over and let's go a little bit of quads. So we have some quads, we can roll over, get a little more of the side, a little more groin. He goes one leg at a time. Like I said, it's going to be personal preference at this point on how much you want to get done in your rolling routine or how much you want to stay on a certain area. Good. Kettlebell complex. Our kettlebell complex is what we use as kind of like our real wake up and let's get ready to work out movement. It's a lighter kettlebell. We're not worried about too heavy. So we're gonna go sequence of 5 reps of each. Complex is back to back to back. First move is a Romanian deadlift. Obviously it's not gonna be very heavy. We just really wanna wake things up. So we go 5 Romanian deadlifts. We go right into 5 swings. Now we get a little more dynamic. We're still working that hinge pattern. Good, then we grab it and go into a nice deep goblet squat for 5 reps, staying nice and tall. Now we contrast the hinge with the squat pattern. There you go, and then we're down, put the kettlebell down, we go into a judo push-up to now kind of get everything from the top to bottom in there. So now we're gonna get on the shoulders, we're gonna get into the core, keep the hips back, 5 reps, really kind of work our way through. Get into that little bit of a yoga pose at the bottom position. Good, 2 more. Good. You can see it's not a very long sequence, but it's a pretty effective sequence. Gonna get that heart rate up quite quickly. Minivan activation, another great way is I talk about like turning the light switch on to our glutes. So this is how we're gonna wake everything up right before we get into the meat of our workout, the beginning of our workout. So first thing I wanna do is think about, we automatically turn the light switch on once we get tension on the band. And now we're just gonna do some lateral slides. You could do this across an area, but right now we're in a tighter space, so we're just gonna go 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Our sequence is 10 in each direction, so we'd end up doing this pattern 5 times. So we're really trying to work up, and we're over that lateral frontal plane. So the next move is, we'll back up just a little bit, is to turn it more into a monster walk. So we're still working on opening the hips, but we're gonna move forward and backwards now. So now as he steps forward, it's about a 45-degree angle, and he closes. He works his way through, step close, and then he works his way back. So we're gonna go at least 10 in each direction. Or 5, we're doing 2s and 2s. We're doing 4s right now, there you go, good. Last mini band activation movement in the sequence is he's on his back. He slides that band up right under his kneecaps. So he's going to go into a glute bridge, and we're really going to work on forcing those hips to abduct. So now go ahead and lay down, palms up. There you go. So he's working on feet flat, toes pointing forward, hips up and down. So we're going to come up and get a good bridge while he still pushes out with his knees. Hold it up there for about 3 seconds or so, and then slowly down. And we'll go 10 of these. And you'd be amazed at how much just after that little sequence, you'll feel like everything's lit up and turned on. The key is to keep pushing the knees out as you bridge. Good. Good. That's good. Spiderman crawl. Great way for us to start to incorporate the core, upper body, get everything going, add a little strength into our warm-up, is to think about a Spiderman crawl. We want to think about reptile, not mammal. We're going to stay nice and low to the ground. So as he reaches, he's going to reach out. See how he can push out with his knee and really kind of get that good opening of the hips. The whole time putting plenty of weight on his hands, even lower, even lower. There you go. Push out through that hip. Hip flexor, groin, quad, glutes. Good. Okay, the Turkish Get Up or the TGU. So the Turkish Get Up or TGU is going to be a big part of our readying or pre-workout sequence for our warm-up. It's a great exercise under heavy load, but in the warm-up we're just looking at something at a very moderate load, something lighter. We just want to go through a real methodical process of working our body up and down the sequence. So Anna's going to get set up with the kettlebell. Once again, we're not going very heavy. And just to go quick little tutorial on it, right? We want to make sure we avoid the sit-up part and kind of really push to roll to the elbow. So she extends the kettlebell overhead, packs that shoulder, keeps her eye on it. She's going to roll to the elbow. Now strong post up onto the hand. Elevate the hips. Get that leg through without dragging too much. Now she's in that half kneel. Windshield wipers the leg, stands up. Work our way back down the sequence, down to the knee. She'll wiper that foot, hand down, leg through, slowly down to the hips, slowly down to the elbow, and back to start position. So our sequence is 2 TGUs. She would do another one right off the bat on that side, and then we would switch sides. TGU. Okay, so the Turkish Get Up or the TGU is going to be a big part of our activation readying series. We're not going to focus really on a lot of weight, so we're just going to show this, and Anna's going to demonstrate a step-by-step progression. All right, Anna, you ready? Let's grab that kettlebell. First thing we're going to do is just kind of like what not to do. Don't turn it into a sit-up. So she's really going to, when she's rolling to her elbow, she's going to press that weight overhead, pack that shoulder. Now we're going to push and roll to the elbow. Now we get to a nice post up on the hand. We're going to elevate the hips. Drag that leg through without dragging too much across the ground. She's in that semi-kneeling. Now she's going to move to a kneeling position. She windshield wipers that foot forward. Now she goes to a vertical. And then we just reverse the sequence down. Knee. Windshield wipers the leg. Kicks the leg through. Slowly down to the hips. Slide to the elbow. And down to the